Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's excellent to have you here as always. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. And tonight, we have some really big news. This is going to be a relatively short video, so I'm not going to include a sponsor on it. All I would say that if you want to support the channel, then check the affiliates page. There's a whole bunch of discount codes and affiliate links over there. Anything that you're already shopping for, that you use one of those links or codes for, generates a commission back to the channel. Thank you very much for using those. Tonight, we're talking about the Cargill case, which is the bump stock ban that has just been accepted by the Supreme Court. Yes! Now, for those of you who are already typing and bruising your fingers on the keys, being like, oh, I don't really care about bump stocks, not really that big deal. If you've been living under a rock and don't understand why this is a big deal, I'll go ahead and lay it out for you. First of all, I'm going to catch some heat by saying that this is Donald Trump's fault. Banned the bump stocks through executive fiat through a rule change at the ATF, and that mechanism was then used to perpetrate all of the harms that you have been putting up with for the last 3.5 years under the Biden administration. Not even Barack Obama went as far outside of his power as this man did. That said, the reckoning is coming down the pipe because the Supreme Court has accepted the Cargill case. Now, we've seen courts go a couple different ways on the bump stock ban for and against, and as we predicted here before, that usually results in a direct route to the Supreme Court because you have differing opinions across the country. Well, the reason the Cargill case is important is because of the way that Cargill, Mr. Cargill himself, challenged the validity of the rule. And you'll have to bear with me. It's been a couple of years since I've read the filing. So I believe that Mr. Cargill had 2 of these devices, and he possessed them before the rule went into effect. And then after the rule went into effect, he was either forced to destroy or turn them in. I forget which way it went. But after doing so, he then challenged that the ATF did not have the authority to do that. Because expressly it was stated in the Gun Control Act, the definition of machine gun, and the bump stock does not meet the statutory definition of a machine gun. So that is the avenue that he's challenging it, and that is important in a couple different ways. First, the most obvious is, what is the scope, the interpretive scope of a regulation like the Gun Control Act that has express definitions, which while I do find the definition of machine gun in the Gun Control Act to be a little bit too loose for my taste, I do think that it is tailored enough to say that it definitely does not apply to machine guns if you read the words that are written. So I will give the definition that. However, I do see how some unscrupulous people have used that definition and extrapolated it out to what the ATF has and the powers that are running from the top down, the marionette. I can see how ultimately they perverted the language to get it to where they've been able to attack certain items. I still think that given the current read, if it goes before the Supreme Court, it is going to provide a limiting action on future litigation that we have to worry about, things like forced reset triggers, just to name a few. Binaries probably come down the pipe and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty sure that if that gets read by the Supreme Court, they're going to be like, yeah, this is totally crap, and they'll probably issue some kind of limiting action on perversion of that text. The other thing that I am hoping that they go for, I'm pretty sure that the first thing that I mentioned is a done deal. However, the second thing that I'm hoping that they go after is the whole concept of executive expansion based on the extrapolation of current legislation, kind of like what we've seen with bump stocks, like we've seen with frames and receivers, like we've seen with the pistol stabilizing brace. And that's what my ultimate hope is that they get into that and they provide some kind of hard stop for these agencies that's basically said, if the Congress does not expressly provide you with an instruction manual, then you cannot do it. And that's what I'm hoping happens. I would like to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But we're headed to the Supreme Court, boys and girls. Stay tuned here at the VSO Gun Channel, and I'll keep you updated when things arise.